A whole change in how we live, and I think this is one of them. So right now, I know when I go shopping at ShopRite or the A&P in my town, they have a recyclable for the bags, and some of them are now charging a nickel for a bag if you want a plastic bag. So there's different ways, just like with recycling and returning bottles and cans. Through that process, I think we can have a good education campaign as well, and that can be done countywide. There's no question about that.
Thank you. Paul?
I did this with Noam too, so don't feel singled out. In regard to Indian Point, you said a moment ago that the NRC has considered it to be the safest of the nation's 104 reactors. Actually, you need to understand that in 2010, the NRC rated it as the most at-risk plant for meltdown in case of an earthquake in the United States, including the California plants. That having been said, on to the next question. Westchester's wastewater infrastructure, like that of the entire state of New York, is in a state of disrepair because of deferred maintenance and capital expenditure, which, according to New York State DEC, would require an investment of $36 billion over the next 20 years to completely eliminate. And of course, the EPA also estimates that between 1.8 and 3.5 million Americans become ill annually from contact with recreational waters contaminated by sewage. And at the same time, we have a property tax cap in this state. We have high taxes. So with that all having been said, were the recent improvements in the New Rochelle wastewater treatment plant a good thing because they improve water quality in Long Island Sound, where many people recreate, or a bad thing because it led to increases in county sewer taxes paid for by city residents?
Both. First of all, this is a consent decree that was entered into with the county and the state in 2009. It is a $200 million project all in. It's a lot of money. And so the people of that district are going to bear the costs of this. And you know, I think, Paul, you said it right. We've got to find a healthy balance between what people can afford and our needs. And I would say, and I say this all the time, that infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our sewage treatment plants, this is the essence of what we should be doing, by the way. This is exactly what government should be doing. There's a lot of things that we should not be involved in. And because we're wasting money, and my feeling is we're wasting money on a lot of other things that government shouldn't be doing, it's not going to where it should. But we're spending a lot of money on that. It's necessary. It's a consent decree. We're doing it. But one thing that we did do when we came in is we did question the prices on this. We renegotiated with the staff engineers who actually had the contract before we got in there, and we shaved several $1 million off the project. And that's what we're doing everywhere. That money that was saved can go somewhere else, because we're looking at all of our infrastructure. We're looking at our sewage pump stations, our water pump stations, our lines, all of these things, because they're aging. There's no question. They're years of neglect. It only gets worse. Now, by the way, is the best time to borrow because interest rates are lower, they're going up. But now is where we have $200 million in our capital projects for all of these kind of issues. We've put $50 million into our parks and some of the infrastructure there. So these are things that we're doing. And in fact, if you could put a good word in with the Board of Legislators, we have a lot of projects that have been there for over a year, 2 years, that need to get back out so we can do this work and also put people back to work, by the way.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to our audience.